All right, my lovely, beautiful friends. Yeah, we're together again at last, and we do have to talk about a bunch of things. Some of it is just, well, frankly, just crazy. All right, I will keep it a little less colorful because I do tend to offend people from time to time. Oh, freaking well. All right, here we go. So post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. A pretty big rally on Wall Street. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up nearly 800 points. A huge surge in crude oil. Crude finished like 11% to the upside. Obviously, this put a big fire underneath the energy sector, the financial sector, lifted the whole market. The desired effect is just what it is. You know how this works if you follow my blog. Cryptocurrencies got bid higher. Gold and silver finished slightly to the negative. Okay, let's talk about what's happening here. Over the past 3.5 weeks, I've discussed this at length as of late. Wall Street has gotten nearly $2 trillion funneled to them by the Federal Reserve, directly from the Federal Reserve. This mechanism has had a profound effect on the stock market. We bounced off of that low and are rapidly moving higher. I mean, $2 trillion is a fair amount of cash, but I got a little inside information for you, and I'm not kidding. I will not disclose which bank I got this information from, but let's just say this. It's one of the largest banks on the planet. Well, they, as well as other major Wall Street banks, are expecting soon another wave of capital to be thrown at them directly by the World Central Bank, the Federal Reserve. This is very stock market positive, totally disconnected from what's going on here in the economy. And we are shut down. We're in an economic deep freeze here. People are getting furloughed and laid off by the tens of millions. We're going to get a big number tomorrow in the millions about people who got laid off here. And the market is going to more than likely respond how it did the last 2 times. And that is higher. The worse the number, the higher stocks are going to go. That means more cash from the World Central Bank will be thrown at Wall Street to keep it propped up. That's all this is. It's on life support. And there's an endless supply of capital being pumped into Wall Street via the Federal Reserve. Very simple how this is working here. But again, all this is doing is making the distortions worse. They tried to correct, okay? We had, I called the top of this market to the day, my best call ever. Publicly said, market, I pulled my cash out of the market. Boom, market went down. Really, honestly, the best call I've ever made. And I know I saved many of you probably huge amounts of capital. But if you were listening to Jim Cramer today, he's very confused. Very confused. If any of you do call in to Jim Cramer's show, maybe you can ask him this question. Jim is confused because he doesn't understand why stocks have gone up like this as of late. Let me explain this to you. Jim Cramer is lying to you. Jim Cramer has direct connections here into Wall Street. He knows what's going on here. He understands the nearly $2 trillion that got funneled into Wall Street is now buying stocks. He knows there's going to be a surge of more cash pumped directly into Wall Street here. While people on Main Street are getting nothing at all here. There was a survey done on one of the major networks. 1 in 3 people say that this government stimulus check or checks that we're getting will not help them at all for maybe a month. Again, we also found this out. Consumer debt, credit card debt has skyrocketed. I mean, it's historic high. So these people who are getting these stimulus checks, well, what do you think they're going to do with that extra cash? It's being given to them so they go pay their creditors back. That's how it works. It's a game. The government's jerking your chain, literally. Don't be offended by that. I know some people are so sensitive, but that's the truth. That's where it's going here. Absolutely incredible. And it gets even worse than that. So we found out today the Treasury and the Federal Reserve are now teaming up to set up a loan program for small businesses. This is debt slavery on an industrial scale. On an industrial scale. All part of the plan. We knew this was going to happen, but it gets even better than that. Even better. So right now, and I'm going to urge you, every single syllable that comes out of my mouth, I want you to look it up. Don't believe anything I'm saying is true, okay? Don't believe it. We found out here that most states here in America, first of all, we knew this before. They're broke. They're destitute. They got no capital. They got to continue to borrow to fund. They got to cut social programs. They got to cut critical programs in some cases just to function. So with this new onslaught of unemployment claims and people looking for government assistance, they're dry. They've run dry. There's no cash. So, like I covered like 2 weeks ago maybe, bailouts. Bailouts. Actually, it's worse than a bailout. They're not going to get this cash for free. The Federal Reserve is going to backstop it. The Federal Reserve is going to start lending cash directly to the states. Now, again, Ben Bernanke, I want you to get this through your head. 2 days ago, Ben Bernanke, former Fed chair, said this: the Federal Reserve can lend to anybody. There's no regulation and there's no oversight. This, again, does this tell you something? The Fed is in absolute complete control of everything. Now that they have been vaulted to beyond the top of that pyramid by world leaders calling for more debt, by this charade that is being played on the people of the world right now, becoming the world central bank. Their goal, you can't imagine how happy the members of the Federal Reserve are right now. They have reached the pinnacle. They are literally the world central bank, the WCB. No institution on this planet is stronger than the Federal Reserve right now, and they're willing to backstop it all. They're setting up a lending program with the Treasury to get small businesses to become debt slaves, again, on an industrial scale, and they're going to lend cash to states as well. More debt slavery. It's incredible. That's what their main goal has always been since its inception, to be the lender and buyer of last resort. Their final solution has absolutely been realized. And again, this was a setup from the release of the virus to the collapsing of crude oil. I want to talk about that in a second. To the melting down of the markets, giving them every opportunity to nationalize it all, to bail it all out, to issue more debt, and much, much more is coming. And I mean much more. We haven't even touched the surface yet. Not even close. Whatever the Fed's balance sheet is today, it's going to triple, quadruple. This, like I said earlier, this is some kind of a twisted, modern monetary policy combined with National Socialism on an epic scale. I mean, we went so far beyond Bernie Sanders' socialism. It's just incredible here. But again, this has been the plan all along. Bernie is out, by the way, dropped out of the presidential race as he watches the new America manifest itself here. I don't blame him. Who would want to be the president of this thing unless you are wearing a swastika under your suit here? Again, they all are. The 1,000-year Reich has been reborn here in the United States. It never died. For those of you that believe that Germany's Third Reich has died, no. It never died. Not only did it never die, but it has been a massive resurgence here in the United States, in this new America. This is the hub, like I explained to you. Let's talk about crude oil. So crude oil surged today 11%. We keep hearing about cuts from OPEC, cuts from Russia, blah, blah, blah. Just freaking do it. We know it's going to come. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. All they did here, understand, this was a setup with regard to crude oil. President Trump, Vladimir Putin, OPEC, this whole thing, they know that the U.S. stock market is so dependent on the price of crude oil being high. All they needed to do was allow it to collapse, blame it on the coronavirus, as well as, it's Russia. They don't want, even though they are a major producer of crude oil, oh yeah, they wanted to cut prices because, that they just think it's great. No. The truth of the matter is, this was a tool used to destroy the U.S. market by design. The president was in on it. Putin was in on it. OPEC in on it. Absolutely. Bring the markets down. Allow the Federal Reserve to step in here. Buy it all. Nationalize everything. Become the world central bank. Absolutely worked. No one can argue. It's not just Greg Mannarino saying this. Even the mainstream media is calling the Federal Reserve the world central bank now. Fact. Look it up for yourself. So, of course, they're going to, try to boost the price of crude back up so they can all make money. That's what this is all about here. Sure, let's cut the price for a little bit, collapse the U.S. market, allow this to happen, allow the New World Order to, lock everybody up in their homes, keep them distracted, issue in the new system, which is clearly here now, and then we're going to try to bring everything back to normal. That's it. That's where we're at. Do you understand? I think you do. It should be in your face. If it's not, you really don't live in the real world, do you? So in summary here, big rally on Wall Street, big rally in crude oil here. The Fed is buying it all. They're setting up lending facilities to enslave small business owners, which was the plan here. They want to get rid of a lot of small businesses. The culling, like I did videos with that title. This is a culling. It is a culling on an epic scale here. And again, all of this, nothing is real. We all know that. We've known that for the longest time. But things are going to get more unbelievable as we move forward here. This new America, this modern monetary facility being set up here, the national socialization, the surge of cash that's going to be pumped into Wall Street, far in $2 trillion. Let's just call it $2 trillion. About $2 trillion so far that we know of has been pumped into Wall Street. And believe me on this, they're expecting this to probably double from here in a very short period of time. So with that said, let's put it together real quick. Crude oil going up. The cut's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. It's part of the scheme that was played on everyone here. Okay? Period. The end. Wall Street's going to get an enormous windfall of cash to buy the stock market. So where do you think things are going to go? You think this is real? You think any of this is real? That the market has a price discovery mechanism behind it at all? No. All going to get worse. All going to get much more distorted. But again, this presents opportunity, not just from a trading standpoint. Getting in this market, getting out of it. If you got in on my last buy recommendation, if you hopefully have subscribed to my newsletter, there's a link down here in the description of this video. Well, you ripped its face off. And there's more to come too. There's no doubt about it. I put out 3 trade alerts as of late. I am still in all of them. I feel like they're all going higher here for reasons I have outlined. Again, you want a piece of this? So simple. Get a piece of my newsletter. It's freaking free, okay? So do it or lose. Pretty simple. Anyway, that's really it, people. That's where we're at. Get used to it. This is a completely new ball game. With the new America has come a modern monetary policy system. it's incredible. The National Socialization, that's what we have here. This is National Socialism. And I want you to know that you will be a loyal National Socialist. Yes, you will. If not, well, we'll see how long that lasts. All right, I'm out of here. This guy here loves you a lot. Please share the video. Let's get the word out. And that's it. See you in the morning.